Un gran desplazamiento, a blue and white concierto, the soundtrack to goals from Dione and Roberto, 5,000 to watch Malaga win 2-0. Now to continue to move forward and not stay still, with 5,000 away to our home with 20,000 plus, as Atletico Baleares come on their Balearic bus. A big month ahead as we enter Febrero. Hope we can see more goals and less of Alfonso Herrero. So let's go. Let's get on with the show with me, Matt Harrison, and my Guiricast co. Good day, everyone. As I just said, I am Matt Harrison, and you are listening to the Malaga fan podcast, the Guiricast, on Sport Direct Radio, and as part of the Sports Social Podcast Network. This evening, I am joined by Luke Chambers. Luke, how are you doing?
Hey, Matt. I'm getting better. I've been struggling with a touch of the flu, but just being on the Guiricast and hearing that rap makes me feel so much better.
Yes, and you've got I was going to say you've got a bit of sunshine to look forward to this weekend, maybe, but
it feels like forever since we were in the Costa del Sol. So yeah, it's something to look forward to. Castellon seems a long time ago.
Yes, Chris, how are you? There's not too much sunshine for us this week at the moment.
It's a bit horrible, isn't it?
A little bit.
But the good thing is I had a Scottish birthday yesterday with people from Yorkshire, and they're just all the same people from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
A Scottish birthday with people from Yorkshire.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. Well, it's not a Scottish birthday. It's from the nicest lady of the town of the town where I live. She was her birthday yesterday, and I heard someone talking that she was from Yorkshire, and by the sound, she really was from Yorkshire.
Well, someone is definitely not from Yorkshire, and we'll make sure that he makes that clear enough. And we're joined by Lancashire's Nick Bell. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm not doing too bad, sir. Thank you. Enlightened by your rap once again, though. A little bit disappointed you didn't go with 2-0. I thought that would be quiet, but then it led into still, so I won't criticise too much. But 2-0 would have been nice.
Yeah, it was a quickly put together one. Hence why it was shorter. No references to other songs, which is something I do try to do sometimes.
How long does it normally take you, Matt? Does it all come natural, or because you are very good at writing the rap? I must say.
That one, and again, I'm literally not joking here. I'd say most of it was done in about 2 or 3 minutes this evening, and then it was just tidying it up. Some of them take a bit longer, or some of them, if I have like a really, really silly idea that I'm determined to get in there, I will spend a bit more time trying to wedge. I don't think any of them take longer than 10, 15 minutes, though. It's
I think we're ruining the illusion here that you make them up on the spot. Like Eminem in 8 Mile when he's in front in the club and things like that. That's what I thought happened, but we can live and dream. Also,
It's a bit of a bummer right now.
Pardon?
It's a bit of a bummer right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you were freestyling every week.
Oh, sorry. Okay, well, sorry to ruin the illusion.
No, it's great. I'm joking.
Yeah, like I've sort of let yourselves down there, but I'd say someone that's sort of letting us down at the moment is Malaga Club de Football and their transfer policy. We're recording this the night before the transfer window will slam shut. So we don't really have any news. I know you guys have already spoken about David Ferrero, who made his debut this week, so we can talk a bit more about him later and how he did. We've just got like names that have been thrown out, so we can maybe just throw those names out there, and by the time you listen to this tomorrow, they might be unveiled as Malaga players. So I think the name that's come up the most is Carlos Puga, on loan from Atletico Madrid B. He's a fullback. Nick, does that get your pulse racing?
Not really. Obviously, it's happy transfer window eve. This is usually a day for excitement. The yellow tie usually comes out at work, but I think for Malaga fans, I think tomorrow will be quite disappointing. I don't think we shop in the transfer window. It's like the transfer window closes and then we're shopping in the transfer bin just outside the transfer window and seeing what's left over. That's what it feels like anyway, but I think I'm most disappointed because we were sold a thought process and a plan that something was going to happen.
Yeah.
End November, start December. And here we are on transfer window eve with a 35-year-old winger through the door with matchsticks for legs.
Yeah, it's a bit like, I suppose, first of all, because it's a more budget supermarket, it's a bit like going to Lidl with a bit of a plan and then buying stuff in those crazy baskets in the middle and just seeing what random bits and bobs are in there. That's perhaps what it's
I don't
like.
agree.
Okay.
I think there is a plan, and the plan is not to buy the first player. And as you all know, Segunda players go out last. Definitely to clubs like Malaga. So I think Malaga isn't wanting to shop in Primera RFF, but is wanting to sign Segunda players who don't count. And they usually go on the last day, because then that's when clubs really have to get rid of players in order to be able to sign new players. So I think there is a plan. We're aiming for the highest.
Okay.
We're not
So
going for the first ones.
We're aiming for Mercadona shopping instead of Lidl.
Yeah. But we're waiting on the sale in Mercadona.
It's
We're
as if
waiting for
somebody's
the
found an old, as if somebody's found an old cell phone on the side and they're just going through some ex-players' names, just thinking, right, who can we get older to put in the team?
But also, let's not forget that all the names that come up, it's not all the players Malaga wants to sign. I mean, although it seems like that, football world is a bit different when on the inside.
Yeah.
Because you have to deal with how you call them?
Agents.
Sorry?
Agents
who drop a bomb somewhere because they want to go to another club. So agents do that. And there's also press who throws themselves in with every...
Yeah.
I don't doubt people will come through the door tomorrow. Not one chance of it. But like you say, we're shopping at a higher level. But so far, we've brought in, like I say, an elderly gentleman from Segunda, and at what looks to be the right back who can't even play for the Atletico Madrid B team is going to come to us as well.
But we don't know that yet, because maybe he's one of the names that has been said, but Malaga's not going after him.
True.
It could also be a thing that Malaga, even the club, is going after a player, but they're asking too much money, or the club is delaying the other club.
That's the case.
Delaying the transfer. Malaga could drop a bomb and say, we're going for him. And then...
Well, that's the case with Exposito and this Zlavanovic as well, isn't it? Or Zlatanovic, or something of that ilk. I think they are waiting for those players to decide whether they actually want to come or not, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, the Puga one, I don't really understand the Puga one. As in a backup fullback, but we're sent to come away from the loaning system, didn't we? And for this to be a loan, I don't know. Some don't. But
sometimes you don't have a choice, I guess.
No,
I mean, the good thing is that we're not signing anything, and I'm sure players have been offered already. I mean, with Manolo Gaspar, for example, we would have signed 5 players already.
Yeah,
who wouldn't
That's exciting.
make us better.
Back.
And did that help us? Not at all.
You guys remember the transfer deadline day last year when we were expecting everything? This hero was going to come out and save us, and we signed. I don't think we signed anybody, do we? In the end, or did we get somebody about 10 minutes to go?
There was Tete Grente last year, if I remember right.
It was close.
With Ndiaye going out.
Yeah,
that right.
We'd already signed Largo Jr. as well, hadn't we, at the time?
Do we think anyone else is going out? I can't say I've really seen too much.
I think Bilal was the only one, and Loren Zuniga went out, of course. So that's 2 players, 2 spots left. Haitam is 3 spots, so I think 2 more players could come.
I know Luke has voiced wanting to see, like myself, I should say, Zlatanovic come in, who's playing out in Israel at the moment, has played for a couple of clubs in Spain, like Castellón and Numancia. He's got quite a good goal scoring record, actually. It's a bit erratic, but it's not bad.
Of course, he's Zlatanovic, like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but then the AliExpress version.
This is the real Zlatan. This is the one what's coming under the radar. The next big thing.
Yeah, it's a bit like, it's sort of teasing me again, because we could sign this sort of guy that sounds a bit like Zlatan, whereas my other club, Swansea City, have just signed someone called Ronald, and you're waiting for the dough, and it's not coming. Just Ronald. But yes, that one sounds quite fun. I suppose the one that's perhaps caught the most headlines from a Malaga perspective is the perhaps potential re-signing of Armando Sadiku. Chris, when we started this podcast, he was...
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
I wish it would happen, but it's not going to happen. I can tell you that.
Because I was just going to ask you, when we started this podcast, I seem to remember us having a very mixed relationship with Sadiku, but we grew to quite like him, I seem to remember.
If I remember well, it was 12 goals.
Yeah, quite a lot of penalties, but he got better. He scored quite a lot of them in the second half of the season after not really scoring in the first half. Just quickly on him, though, he might be tempted to stay in India, because have you seen who his teammate is in India?
Nope.
No. So he plays for a team called Mohan Bagan, and he is playing alongside the legend that is Jason Cummins, aka the Cum Dog.
The Cum Dog.
And if there is not, he's playing in India. If there's not a Cum Dog millionaire headline out there somewhere, then someone is not doing their job.
So you've got the big Deku and Cum Dog playing up front together.
Yeah. I had no idea he's in India. I assumed he was still playing in Australia. I just spotted him.
I mean, do you want a player who comes from India?
Well, I want Jason Cummins. I want the Cum Dog.
If Jason
for real, like
Malaga, I'd lose my head.
I mean, Sadiku didn't really play like real football. With all respect to India,
Yeah, but he did okay with. Where was he? Was he with Alcorcon?
Everywhere.
He was at Cartagena as well.
He's had a very interesting career.
Yeah.
Really. But you should have signed him after coming from those clubs and not after coming from India.
And again, I'm doing this off the top of my head a little bit, so I can't remember the exact details, but he's had an interesting career, partly because I think he got banned from playing in Albania for assaulting a linesman. It was something like that. Again, I'm putting brackets, I can't remember the full details. So,
Did he go to Bolivia as well, if I remember rightly?
Yeah, he went with Nacho Gonzalez, I think.
He went over. I remember him going over to Bolivar in Bolivia.
Yeah, that was where he went after Malaga.
Yeah, it's a fun career.
He's well travelled. He just wants to see the world.
Like a cool podcast. The Sadiku podcast could do very well.
Yeah. Just again, we'll mention Bilal has also left and gone to Fuenlabrada. When I've seen him play, I think he's always been okay. But
I'm sorry, but I think he lacked of quality.
Okay. See, I thought Iroke is like a backup fullback. I don't think you're ever going to be good enough but for where we are now, like I guess he wasn't really on much of a wage or anything either. So yeah, it must be more Bilal wanting to get out and further his career, maybe.
Well, I think when he's so young and he looks in front of it and he sees continuously players overtaking him as well, because he's been in around the first team setup for a while. Yeah. And you've seen like Mario come through this year. They've signed other centre backs. So I think for him, it's just a change of scenery.
How many times did we see him play? I think we saw Lauren Zuniga, then we saw Bilal. Let's be honest. For Malaga, to keep a player who isn't really in your plans, I mean, it's better to let him go for both sides.
Yeah. No. Hopefully they bring somebody in, like you say, that can cover that bit, because knowing our luck, all three centre backs will get injured against Atletico Baleares this weekend. So that'd be the one.
Let's go to the other big story then. Speaking of someone that's, speaking of people coming and going and Sadiku's jet setting, another man that's done a bit of jet setting over the last decade, it seems is Altani. There's the big news story today of the prosecutor unveiling quite a lot of...
The important thing is to explain it right, because he isn't being guilty of anything yet.
That's why I said allegedly.
Yeah.
The prosecutor is saying they have evidence to show that there is we'll say, discrepancies in the finances of the
The
club.
important thing is that the prosecutors see enough to take it to court. That's basically what happens. So in the previous stage, the judge did her research. She investigated the case, and then she presented all the evidence to the prosecutors of Fiscalia and I don't know, whatever. And they see a case in it.
Could this be the big one, Chris, in terms of
This is the
pushing
big
out
one.
Downey further away, or
It is the big one. This is the big case.
yeah?
Yeah, so as again, you guys can help me, because this is literally sort of come out earlier today, and there was quite a lot of information to process. There was a lot of, essentially a lot of what the prosecutor has said they have evidence for is that he used club money to fund perhaps, you know, more lavish aspects of his lifestyle. Like, I think we've talked like years ago about the purchasing of like Range Rovers and stuff, and the travel.
There are some maybe big expenses being made. $5,000 for a hotel in the Four Seasons, for a room in the Four Seasons in Boston.
The one in Beverly Hills, that's a picture that's going around, isn't it?
Bulgari in London, the Hotel Bulgari in London, more than 70,000. Hotel Beverly Wilshire in California, 251,000 euros for a hotel.
Right, huh?
And this
But
is
then there's also flights to London, Los Angeles, London, Doha, Paris. The list goes on. Kuwait.
Yeah, he laid into a lot of the club's executives as well, or former executives this week, because, you know, it was noted that when their salaries, what they were around 2011, 2012, you know, some of them circa maybe 50,000, some maybe around 100,000. They then, in some cases, double, tripled, or even quadrupled up until 2016, 17.
And that with Malaga, and that's the important thing of the whole case, because if things are going well financially, it's no problem because you're doing your job right. But in these cases, the club was already going down into financial problems, but the salaries of some board members went up.
Was it something mad? Like at one point, there was only something like 6,000 euros in the club's current account. For a major La Liga football team, there was 6,000 euros.
Yeah, and there were other expenses Altani made, which we have talked about already. Cars weren't paid, were being sold to the club. Houses in
the European banner in place and everything as well.
Yeah,
so the really is taking the
one of the
and the biggest and the most important one is that it seems that Altani bought shares of the club with club money from former President Puche in a very strange way, which means
like the financial director was given some money out of the club. He then bought the shares off Puche at auction. So he also bought some of the other family member shares as well directly off them for lower amounts. But then the big amount was bought at auction for, I think, about 100,000 euros. And then obviously that was done allegedly with the club's money. And then he then sold those shares to NAS Spain, Altani's holding company. And then they paid him the 134,000 euros back, and he put that back into the club. Which, in the sense of it, you know, you're looking and say, oh, well, no one's really lost out on money, blah, blah, blah. But it's still illegal to do it. You cannot use the club's money to purchase funds for the club or shares for the club.
The important thing is, without those shares, Altani wouldn't have the majority. Then it would be Blue Bay together with Diapa, who have the majority together.
Yes. Obviously, like I said earlier, there's quite a lot of information to process earlier. So I don't know if there's anything we've missed that we need to say.
I think the most important thing to know is that the prosecutor or who was it, Fiscalia?
Yeah, the prosecutor. I think that's
Yeah, sees enough evidence to start a case against him. So
Yeah,
um,
it looks pretty watertight.
he's still a suspect. I mean, nothing has really come out yet.
no.
I think we can say that because there hasn't been a verdict. So until there's a verdict,
Apart from the fact he says he's going to come back and save us. So
Yeah.
sorry.
I was going to mention that because I think I'm right in saying, Chris, that might have even been in reply to a sport
Kiko
director,
Garcia,
Kike, where he said, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll come back and sort this all out." And it was quite interesting that tweet happened, less than 24 hours before.
That was yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, before all this.
He's been very consistent with his tweeting about Malaga as well, hasn't he? With the praise for the fans, the praise for the club, etc. It seems a bit like I don't know, like he's taking the mess kind of thing from his side.
Even if he would been not charged and not being, how do you call it? Not charged as guilty, then still I think there is. The relationship between the fans and him is broken and can never be fixed again.
No chance.
No way. That was going to be my question, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to put my cards on the table right now. I would not be interested in coming back in the slightest whatsoever. But he's clearly a very wealthy man, or so they claim. He's obviously, got money to be doing. So if he came back and then put all the money back in, do you think?
I don't think he's that wealthy anymore.
Would stay against him, or do you think maybe some people would kind of like go, well, maybe now there's progress, but I don't know if it would happen. But
if he was that wealthy, he shouldn't taken all that money out of the club, did he?
No. I think it's all gone on too long now. The fan. I mean, look where the club is now. For example, this is a big part of what the Altani last 10 years.
Family left.
Yeah.
But it all starts to unravel from him, doesn't it? Like,
he made his daughter president of the feminine football.
Yeah, I saw that.
For a salary of 145,000 euros or something like that.
My parents give me a job like that. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
I mean, I think Malaga Femenino doesn't bring up any money.
No, I doubt.
And if it brings up money,
especially not 10 years ago. Imagine.
No, then it's definitely not 145,000.
Can we end on some happy news, Matt? Because
go for it. I was trying to find a way to link it to the fact we won this week. So go on.
Oh well, obviously, as we'll all know by reading this lovely agenda you put together for us, La Rubia's contract extension is not too far away.
Yes, I knew I'd missed something. Yes, so that is good because obviously we had those young players signing contract extensions just before Christmas. I'll be perfectly honest with you. When I saw this headline this week, I'd forgotten that David La Rubia was not part of that batch. I just sort of assumed he was.
I love the name. Have you read the name they've given it to it? So he's signing up to Generation 27.
I did see that. Sorry, yeah.
That feels nice.
3-year deal as well, isn't it? Something.
Yeah. It's a big commitment from him. Obviously, joining the other players who sign contract extensions.
Yes, and then they only give Musa a contract for a season.
Who's Generation 26?
It's like we said in the chat the other day. It's as if they don't believe in Musa. They're not seeing what we're seeing. Like he's an unbelievable defender at the moment.
They are Musa-ing.
And he always was until his injury, to be honest. Because before his injury, he was doing very well.
Never been fit, has he? He's never had a good run.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So let's go. We've covered transfers. So, if you're listening on transfer deadline day, some of those names might pop up. It could be a whole different list of players that comes up in the next 24 hours. We've covered Altani, but as I've just said, I think the main thing this week was after a pretty sort of slow start to 2024, Malaga have won a game. So let's go and talk about that win. Okay, so obviously we're going to talk about Recreativo Granada 0, Malaga 2. We will talk about the game. It's become, I've done it pretty much every podcast this season. I've sort of started by going, hey, our fans are really great, aren't they? So I'll start with you, Chris, and go, hey, our fans are really, really great, aren't they?
Well, fans. No, joking. I don't know if I used the word insane already this week. I know I did a few times last week.
How many times?
Well, I have to admit, and that's what everybody always forgets. My natural language isn't English.
You can plug the video now, Chris.
I don't know how many. I don't know how many languages you guys speak. Luke.
Should I ask Chris? I was trying to get Chris to say really
a little too.
So it's that's why insane has been a thing. Probably, I don't know. But yes, I made a video and I said insane a few times on the video. I didn't really see the video back. It was nice.
I think as well when you were saying insane, I think the more you got into the day, the more it went like more Dutchified as well. It was like more.
It was very Dutch.
It's it's insane here.
This is an insane day.
It's such insane times here.
Chris, why were you the only one with a coat on, by the way?
I wasn't in Shane, by the way.
It's so lovely and warm.
It was pretty warm, but I just didn't want to take my jacket off because I didn't have anywhere to leave it, basically.
Yeah.
It was really good, to be fair. So do go check out the vlog if you haven't seen it on our YouTube, because it was.
Yeah, it was insane.
Well, it was insane.
I mean, without being all Chris Marquez on my notes, I have started with it looked insane as usual. I mean, from every video I saw across the socials, it was like a build up to a cup final.
I have only one thing, because the tapas and all was great. But if tapa restaurants from Granada listen, you don't really have much vegetarian things for vegetarian people.
Yeah, I just got lots of rice, pretty much, basically. Lots of rice, which was fine. It was
background peppers, please.
But it's for people who never been to Granada. It's hard to explain how the tapa thing works, isn't it?
Yeah, so essentially you buy a drink and they give you a tapa, and then
but it's not a tapa. They give you like a plate.
Is it tapa by choice, or do they just give you?
Sometimes it is, very rarely. But what happens is if it's usually, and obviously it didn't really happen around the ground because they're so busy. But usually, if you have a second drink in the same place, the tapa
you will say second.
It gets like it's something. It's usually a bit bigger and something a bit.
You say first, and then you say second, and then you say third. But it was an insane day.
See, Granada looks such a cool place as well. With like the snowy mountains,
beautiful city.
Sierra Nevada in the background. Los Carmenes looks such a great stadium as well.
Yeah,
from the outside, it doesn't look that great, to be honest.
No,
that was a long sort of debate me and Chris had outside. I was sort of gushing over the floodlights, and he was going,
yeah.
The floodlights are good, but not like very special.
Oh, they are. They really
are. The stand what you lot were in at the end when obviously the celebrations, it looked like a mini La Bombonera.
But to be honest,
something really South American about it.
From the inside, it's very beautiful. From the outside, it isn't ugly either. It just needs a paint job very, very bad.
Yeah, it does. I agree with that. But I quite like that sort of tatty look on a stadium. But yeah, it looks out of place with the inside of the ground. I agree.
But a very nice stadium, very nice people. And the ultras together and the respect they gave each other. There were Granada ultras wearing shirts with Granada and Malaga. Always brothers. It was insane. They were singing our songs outside the stadium. We were singing their songs. I don't know. It was beautiful. It was
Chris,
beautiful.
What were the particular song what they sang over to the Malaga fans during the game, which got a big round of applause, and the Granada fans were applauding the Malaga fans?
Malaga y Granada, siempre camarada.
No, there was the bit when they were singing Malaga about being in the Primera, like we
or Malaga should go back to Primera, but also Malaga y Granada, siempre camarada.
Yeah,
Malaga and Granada, always friends. It was I don't know.
I was thinking about it because I've been trying to write this latest Malaga Gaga thing, and it only really occurred to me when I was writing it that like this season, there's been a lot of that with these guys. You know, obviously with mates with Granada. There was Food 2 weeks ago where everyone was really chummy.
But different. You can't deny that it was different than this week. This is real, like
of course,
partners, brothers.
But like in Castellon, there was quite a lot of that sort of friendship, and there's been a lot of love this year, which is nice.
Matt, has this been the most enjoyable season for yourself in terms of following a football club? Because some of the little trips that you've had seem like unbelievable.
It's up there. There's a couple of seasons with Swansea, and I suppose like following a football club maybe, but like there was the 1 year when I lived in Slovakia, I watched football in 10 countries in one season. That was pretty good fun. It's been fun.
You're not far away from it this year, I guess. You went to Morocco. Well, not really. Morocco still Spain.
I'm a long way.
You've been to England.
Oh, we cleared this one up.
That year was pretty crazy. I think it's probably one to ask me maybe once this season has a bit of distance.
You went to Atletico Bilbao. They think they're in another country.
Yeah, suppose.
You've been to Catalonia.
Not this season.
Oh,
last season I did.
If you would go to Catalonia, it's another.
Well, I went to Andorra last year as well, didn't I? So, I'm doing all right.
But I said it to I was WhatsApping with another journalist from Malaga who made a video of the pitch after the match, which went viral. So I congratulated him with the video, and then I wrote, you know who I'm talking about. I congratulated him with the video, and then I said to him, like, yesterday I didn't really remember, but thinking of it, this is such a historical moment in the club's history that your video will be watched still in 20 years, because 5,000 away fans is insane in third tier.
Yeah. It's even I think I saw quite a lot of like other clubs at the similar level to us and above sort of retweeting stuff and saying like this is real sort of fandom, which was nice.
Mean, you wouldn't see 5,000 fans in Getafe or in any other Primera División club. Maybe if it would be the top two.
And, you know, as much as I'd love to keep talking about our fans and how great they are.
You have to say one thing, though, and that's what I forgot to say. A big, massive thank you to the Football Club Granada who made this all possible. Because giving 5,000 tickets or 3,500, then making it 5,000, and the way they put up a fan zone, which wasn't like a real great fan zone, but they made it all possible.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, obviously you asked me during the day about how does this compare to Linares, and I said, well, it's sort of similar because Linares is obviously a much smaller claustrophobic town, but so it felt similar. But I'd say, like, you know, with these big away followings, the main sort of pride I would take in is I think that it's done the right way. There's not an air of like nastiness about it. Obviously, we do have passionate fans, and you know, they can be lively, but there's not. And I don't get like in England, like if you're sorry, I'm gonna pick on like someone like Leeds United who have like a big away following, and I'm not, you know, some of their fans, they'll be like that aggressive, you know, we're taking your town sort of vibe. Not all Leeds fans.
Well, we're not saying his name, but you met one of them.
Pardon?
We're not going to say his name, but you met one of them.
Oh yes, yeah. But like, I mean that exactly. He was harmless. But yeah, I think in England there's a different atmosphere to those sort of away followings. And again, I just Leeds were the first ones that come to mind, so please don't be offended, any Leeds fans or any big fan base I meant. So I'm going to move on quickly now and talk about football instead. Let's talk about starting 11, because I suppose there was a few interesting inclusions there. Manu Molina was starting in midfield. Aaron Ochoa was starting alongside him for his first league start. Juande was back, and obviously Dioni's been in and out, and he started. Luke, any sort of thoughts on the starting 11?
Sorry, who was alongside Molina?
Aaron Ochoa.
Yeah, I couldn't complain with it all, to be honest. It looked like he kept his 3-5-2 formation. I was happy to see it mainly because I want to see, Roberto and Dione playing up front as a 2. I like the look of it in stages in Castellon, but I just think that there'll be a much better partnership as a two centre forwards.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was missing Musa though.
Yeah, I also agree with that.
I don't understand why he wasn't.
Did I see something about Musa had picked a knock up in training somewhere?
Yeah, I think that was.
I can just remember it.
It was great to see Gennaro back on the pitch.
Yeah, I was gonna throw him in a bit later because.
But defensively, we looked horrible again from the start. Everything looked horrible, to be honest.
The thing is, Chris, I think if we remember to last week's pod, I think Alex mentioned it. He said, "We need this, we need that." We will be sat there after half an hour thinking, "This is the same boring Malaga performance. Why aren't we doing what we should be doing against this kind of team?" But
I think we only got lucky because we playing against the Granada who.
Well, I think after 10 minutes, I thought Granada
didn't want to score
that bad. They didn't look like the bottom team in the league. But I think that was mainly down to ourselves, our tempo, etc.
I think it's still not looking good. It is a win, but I'm still didn't change. My opinion hasn't changed.
Did you guys get a feel in the crowd from the Malaga fans as if like we are expecting more as in a performance, etc.?
People were screaming around me. I don't know how it was with Matt, but they weren't happy.
No,
I would say the impression I got is like obviously everyone was there was the hymno was obviously belted out, and then there was all like the bouncing and stuff at the start of the game, and Malaga's performance. I wouldn't say there was many people going like screaming around me, but I think I was sort of above where the ultras were, and I could see there was a bit more sort of animosity down there. But the atmosphere did dip a bit in that first 15, 20 minutes. And then I think Malaga was so like tepid on the pitch that I think a lot of our fans went, "Oh, come on, let's just have a bit of a laugh if we're going to play crap." Yeah. And then the atmosphere sort of boosted again, and obviously up until we scored. Nick, what did you perhaps make of Malaga's start to the game and sort of their performance in the first half in general?
It was slow, it was turgid, but I think when you look at the formation that we were playing, 3 at the back with wing backs that as well sit quite far back. I'd argue maybe it was 5 at the back rather than 3. You sacrifice a lot in that formation, so it seems to be
thing with wings, wing backs. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Like say, you sacrifice a lot of that going forward. There is naturally a lot more exciting football happening in the midfield and up top, so you lose that by taking players away from it. But Pacers seems to have found, we saw in the game against Ceuta, against Castellon, this formation seems to be working for him a little bit at the minute, and it allows Dione and Roberto to play up top. So we might have to sacrifice a bit of the entertainment factor, but was it really there anyway in order to get some success?
I think that the dangerous thing with 3-5-2 is with wingbacks. If the other team puts pressure on you very well and keeps the pressure on it, you're playing 5-3-2.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. There is a reason why we look at this team this week, and Joaquin Gabilondo and Victor Garcia had much more fun in this game playing against, let's call, lesser opposition compared to what it was like for Dani Sanchez and Gabilondo last weekend against Castellon. Do you know what I mean? Or the weekend before, against Castellon.
Do you think he may have changed it to a 3 centre half purely? Well, one of the reasons being that the strength what we have at centre half. I mean, in truth, we've got 5, maybe 6 good quality centre halves when they're all fit. I understand getting them fit is the hardest bit of it. But like,
but not any creative one.
No, the thing with the 3-5-2, I mean, our fullbacks, I think, have been good attacking this season. However, the 3-5-2 eliminates your wingers, players like Kevin, etc. Who I know we're hot and cold with Kevin, but I personally think we need Kevin in the team, and I'd rather see us with wingers than wing backs, but with two up front if we can.
I think wing backs is great if you have players like Sifu and Juankar, who had an insane pace both. That works fantastic. And if you play counter football,
I think Victor Garcia fits in that more. I don't think Hocking Gabilondo is there yet, but he's still a young lad. But he seems a bit obtuse for a wing back, in my opinion. But maybe that's why they're looking at Carlos Puga. You never know. It might be swapping him in around potentially. But I think he's settled on this and it's succeeding at a pace.
It's not working for me, and I think a 3-5-2.
It's not going to tickle your bollocks, is it, Chris? That's all I'm trying to say to you. It's very much functional football.
It's safe. It's safe.
It's safe football.
I mean, we're not going to burst out for counter-attacking football, are we? When we've effectively, say, if we've got Manu or Genaro in the holding, we've effectively got 7 players in his own.
Yeah, but the problem I have with this is that you have like attacking midfielders like Kevin and La Rubia who can't even put a ball in. I'm not seeing Gabilondo or Victor, for example, put a good cross in.
Oh no!
I
think Victor did this weekend. I think Victor's for this one.
Victor's a great crosser. I think he's not been as good. I don't think he's been as good since he come back from his injury. But before,
he was great at the start, but now, I mean,
yeah, I agree with Nick. I think those two players sort of suit fullbacks. I think Joaquin is still finding his feet as a wing back, but like when we played, the game we all raved about him against Malia earlier in the season, he was excellent as a sort of attacking fullback. He did have someone in front of him, if I remember. Oh no, I don't think he did. We might have played him at wing back that game. I can't remember, but I do agree. I'm not just the whole.
But let's look at the results from the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but we've just switched to it. I'm not saying I'm absolutely enamored with it yet, but I think it can work. And we did, and admittedly, like if we look at results over the last 3 weeks, probably one of our best performances of the season was against Real Sociedad, and obviously we lost, but that was with 3 at the back. And I do agree that's why I think Musa would be great in this 3 at the back, because he was the one like taking it up the pitch a bit more. And Nelson Monte's not going to do that. Ainar's going to do that.
Yeah, he can step out with it. He can step out with it, which is what you need there. And what that will stop Pace afternoon is playing someone like Genaro in CDM. In this game you had Manu Molina and Aaron Ochoa as a pair, bit of a double pivot with Lorenzo just in front of him. It kind of reverses it the other way around when you put another centre back in, if that makes sense. So
why couldn't we just try a 4-4-2 with a diamond in the middle?
Because that's just green sky thinking that, Chris.
Just quickly, Nick, who was playing alongside Manu Molina?
Did I just say Aaron Ochoa?
You cannot go back now, Nick. He's gone.
Oh, no.
Just quickly, I was going to say, I think what you guys were saying about this formation being a bit more pragmatic, I think that's why Aaron Ochoa was starting, just to be the guy that did link up with him up front a bit, and I think he did okay. He's 16 still.
Did you see the video I retweeted? Someone had put together a highlight reel of Aaron Ochoa in this game. Aaron Ochoa Maloney, 8 minutes of Aaron Ochoa Maloney football. And
really?
Yeah. It's from like a Spanish scout talent finder account on YouTube.
Is it the comparison, Nick, to Xavi for it?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, this is the way he played. So he didn't do anything too spectacular. He wasn't a world beater, but he just did the tidy things quite nicely. And he was always looking for a forward pass as well. But I just thought it was quite interesting that out of all of Spain, this guy's made an 8.
Okay, I have a question. Ramon is coming back in the next few weeks. We keep the 3-5-2.
Easy. Yeah,
We do whatever Ramon wants us to do.
Yeah.
No, I'd keep it. I think Ramon.
I'm not a big fan of it.
I think he'd fit perfectly in that.
Yeah, could it give Ramon a bit more creativity?
I think it's I think it's a very dangerous style of play because you fully depend on your wing backs with Granada not being so dangerous.
The thing is,
we're not putting much pressure on you. I think any other team will see the 3-5-2 and they all know the answer. Put pressure on those defenders, on your backs.
I don't think the 3-5-2 is going to stick for many games because Pellicer is going to want to get Kevin in when Kevin's fit. It proved this against Castellón when Kevin probably wasn't fit. Would he play Kevin as a 10? I think he'd rather see him as a winger. I think he could do a job as a 10, I think.
And then for you guys who were very happy with the first half of the season, nothing was wrong. We were winning our games the way we played.
Definitely didn't say nothing was wrong.
No, none of us have said that.
No, but you were quite content, and
we like that, Chris.
You know,
we were winning our games, and everything was good.
We lost 2 games. I don't know what else we meant.
2 games, and we're third in the league.
So why do we need it? Why do we need a change of formation then?
Fair point.
Yeah, because
this was where I'm going. Why do you guys want this change of formation?
I think it's going back to what Luke said earlier, where our team's been, ravaged with injuries, and we seem to have a lot of centre backs that are fit. So, and maybe we did just try it out against Real Sociedad, and we played quite well. We played very well, I thought. Yeah, I'm still, I'm still to be won around. I do agree that I think Pellicer does like Kevin, and he'll find a way to get in. I've said it before. I think he could do a job as a wing back, but
is Kevin fit for the weekend? Do we know?
He was doing good action signing and things in that.
He was bouncing around a lot
in the Oling shop. Yeah,
it depends what his recovery suit does for him as well. I assume that's what it was. That's why it would look so mad. To wear such a thing, it's to aid his recovery. But yeah, I don't know. I thought in this game, we're against very, 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 very poor opposition. But I think we looked all right.
Yeah, I think we found our feet eventually. Let's just hammer through some of the other talking points. Then obviously Dione got a goal. I think we're all in agreement that he's had a good start to 2024, and it wasn't like an absolute bullet header and wasn't the best goalkeeper I've ever seen, but it's good to see him get on.
Could it be that that Pellicer maybe is playing him for the first time as a striker, and that's what we were saying the whole season?
But again, I think I said it maybe the podcast 2 weeks ago. It's Dione doesn't see himself as a striker, so I think it's as much him as Pellicer.
But it was such a built goal as well. Like, not to heap too much praise on Manu Molina, but that ball to pick out Victor Garcia, if you used to see that in the Premier League, if Paul Scholes did that, 10, 15 years ago, we'd be all over it. To find that man where he was, and then for Garcia to put the cross in the way he did, it's the perfectly
executed. Did Garcia put a good cross in?
He did.
I thought Garcia never puts good crosses in.
And
it was a very, very...
This was a good cross, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with what you said, Matt. The defending and the goalkeeping were very, very Sunday League-esque. I mean, the header, the more you watch the header back, it really wasn't a good header.
No, it's not how they go in, it's as long as they go in.
Exactly. That is the main thing. It hit the back of the net. How it went in. I mean, even the defender on the line, took 2 steps backwards just so it went in the net.
Yeah. So that was 1-0 at halftime. We had to sub off. We did sub off Manu Molina. I was trying to quickly work out a Manu Molina joke when you said Paul Scholes, but didn't quite get there in time. But
Mum's just died. Matt, don't take the piss.
So he should perhaps say it was. I'm guessing that's the reason he was subbed off. By the way, I don't know.
I think so.
He was having a good half for me.
He was having a really good
I was surprised. I was surprised to see the change, and then obviously the news came out.
Yeah, it's because I honestly thought he was, going to be my Biznaga for the match. I thought he was excellent. But yeah, very sad news about his mother passing away. So, of course, we pass on our
During a football match, you're on the pitch and your mother is passing away.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But as you said, Chris, earlier, that did give Gennaro his opportunity to return to the team after quite a long suspension after his sort of ruckus at Algeciras or against Algeciras. I don't know if you saw the interview he did with El Desmarque this week. It was really interesting. He seems a really quite clever guy. He's quite switched on, and he was saying he's got a degree in journalism, and was saying that he wants to be a commentator, and then he said he wants to be a coach. I don't know if you saw when they asked him what coaches does he look up to. Did you see who he picked?
No.
Borderlass.
You can definitely see that in his game.
Yeah, exactly. It just made me laugh.
There is one thing he said.
The kind of man who owns a golden retriever. That's what I get from Canaro.
He said one crazy thing which I really didn't understand. He said, "I think I've earned a new contract with Malaga."
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about. He talked quite well about the abuse he sort of received at the end of last season and in the summer, and how Pellicer was really good to him over the summer. And it was quite a nice interview, I thought. Yeah, he's quite an interesting guy.
Get him into Generation 27 now. Come on, let's just do it. Let's just get everyone into Generation 27.
Yeah, because and he sort of made
Generation 27.
I'd love to see him get a new contract. I think he's something different.
I think he's not good enough for Segunda.
We don't play in Segunda.
No, but if you go up, you will play Segunda.
Were you guys surprised that I didn't start on Saturday?
No,
I don't
because
think anybody's particularly shun, since he's been suspended.
The question is, how many playing time will Manu Molina get now? Genaro's back.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think Manu Molina had sort of earned his starting place. I think he's been good.
If anything, Manu has been one of the better ones since Jan. How far is Ramon off, Chris? Did you say earlier, or
I don't know? But he will come back soon, I guess.
I was worried. That was good. We mentioned it with Kevin when I saw him at that signing with Kevin. I was like, no, don't sign too aggressively now, Ramon. Don't just take your time.
Ramon looks like he's enjoyed his time off. By the way, he definitely got the old Costa del Sol belly on him. I think.
No, I think I thought he looked a bit.
And his fat ass. He's always got his fat ass.
This is not a podcast for fat shaming people, Luke Chambers.
No.
A redaction right now, please, for us more portly gentlemen amongst you.
We all enjoyed the Costa del Sol belly.
We've
all been there.
Dad bods are in. Dad bods are in, Luke. Your days of running up 14 miles, being chiseled, they're over. Dad bods are in. It's official.
Yeah. Let's talk about the second goal as well then. Obviously, Roberto again on the score sheet. That's always good for him to add to his tally, although hopefully no one puts a bid in for him tomorrow because that's happened throughout January. Good assist from Danny Lorenzo as well. Obviously, Roberto was just given a tap in. Again, we talked about like Manu Molina and Dione. I think Danny Lorenzo probably has could claim to be one of our best players since 2024. I think he's been really good. Just me.
No, very much the Danny Lorenzo that we expected at the start of the season. When we were all picking out who we're excited to see, he was probably the first name up there. I know he's certainly mine and yours, Matt.
I just think he needs to be consistent for 90 minutes. He's capable of doing great things, like a David Larrubia. They do some amazing things, but then I don't know, the kind of shy out of a gate. They vanish for a little bit. Do you guys think that? Or
I think they vanish more than they are at the match. But when you do see them, they can do great things.
Yeah, I think I'd label that more on David Larrubia than Danny Lorenzo. I think that certainly since the start of the year, I think Danny Lorenzo's been pretty busy, and
because he also recovers a lot of balls.
Because even in that, we talked about how bad we played against Ceuta. He was really good in that game.
Yeah,
I think this league just doesn't lend itself to anybody having a good, solid 90 minutes. I think it's just that kind of league. Even if you're a Castellon, players in that team don't have a good 90 minutes. They have a good hour, maybe, or 45. I think it's just the level of football that we're at, unfortunately.
The nice thing about this goal as well, or a bit of a stat for you guys, is when Roberto scored. He scored in 8 separate games for Malaga this season. And how many of those games have we actually lost?
I'm guessing 0.
0. We've won 7 of them and draw 1. So if Roberto scores, guys, it's Cerveza time.
This is the most random, nothing saying stat there is on this planet.
Well, no, actually, like last night, I was watching the Arsenal game, and that's all they kept talking about was Gabriel Jesus has lost the game when he scored for Arsenal.
Sky Sports talking about.
I thought we were talking about Roberto.
There's this guy from Malaga in the 3rd division.
Every time he scores, they win. It's.
I'm just going to interrupt you there, Martin, and just tell you about Roberto.
However, you know what's going to happen now. Roberto scores after 3 minutes on Sunday, and we get beat 3-1 or something.
Oh, don't say that. I've not said anything about
my
this
record this season has been embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. Why are you even coming?
I don't. I just like the sunshine. I like seeing you guys.
Yeah, but you can also do that from outside the stadium.
Okay, then, Chris.
To be fair, but the Ibiza game might not be touched by the curse of Luke, so I'm looking forward to that one now.
I'm going to count them now.
There you go. Yeah, I'm more worried that I don't know, Luton Town are going to put in a bid for Roberto tomorrow. That's
especially Sky Sports are talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Just quickly, and 1 or 2 other little bits. So let's mention David Ferrero making his debut. I'm going to say it right now. I was really impressed with him. He was bouncing along. He was out on the right. He was in the middle. He was.
I thought you guys thought he was too old. He couldn't.
He was great. No, me. I said I'll say judgment.
I think some people have to say sorry here.
I think the game was dead. He came on and just did a job.
He came on for about 10 minutes, and he was gassing at the end of it. He was physically struggling at the end of it.
When the rest of the team were bouncing around, he was on the side with a little whiskey in a blanket.
I can't remember if I told you this story because I know you like my stories of random old men in the crowd. But the guy next to me, it was quite an old fella, as they always are, it seems. And I did have to tell him at one point when we were doing the bouncing, I did say to him, "Mas alto," and all his mates around were pissing themselves because of trying to get him to jump higher. And he did, and he got jumping higher. So I almost killed an old man.
He's been off work all week, bless him.
I don't think he's working anymore. But yeah,
I don't think there's enough time to see what he can do. But he didn't disappoint. He didn't do amazing.
Are we talking about the old man again now, or David Ferreira?
Oh, I thought he was the old man. Sorry, I was getting my wires crossed.
Because I was going to say he did have a good bounce on him by the end. But anyway, sorry, carry on.
He gave a great interview after the game, didn't he? Obviously, it said that he knows where he's came, the Malaga fans, the club, everything, which is always nice to hear.
Yes, it is.
It's funny how you can take one small part of a video and then make someone look very good, like very nice, because there was 3 minutes of video. Roberto, I posted the whole video, and I made a small cutout from the thing he said because it didn't fit, and I wanted to post something on our Twitter, and a lot of likes.
I thought you were going to say that it was 3 minute video and you had 30 seconds of talking and 2.5 minutes of just panting and heavy breathing.
No, but it's insane that if you pick just a little thing of a video out, that it generates so much likes. While Roberto said the exact same thing in 3 minutes, and he also discussed a bit about the match, but then...
Chris, you can't be giving the secrets away.
No,
keep the secrets.
Yeah. Right. Malaga did get the 3 points, a 2-0 win in front of a buoyant away support. Let's get into the last bit then. Chumbo and Biznagas. Luke, I'll come to you first for your Chumbo.
I honestly think it's a tough one because although it wasn't a great performance, I don't think anybody really did anything wrong. I'll be harsh and maybe say Hakeem thought he had a quieter game. I don't think we really created anything from the right, but that's it really.
Okay. Nick, anyone different?
I think I agree a lot with Luke. It was tough. I think for me, Einar had a bit of a quiet game, but I don't know if it was because he was upped by his fellow centre-backs, and the same for Joaquin Gabilondo as well. Because Victor Garcia had such a great game, he kind of tarnished what Joaquin was doing, but I think ultimately Einar just looked a bit slow in this game for me against a poor side.
Yeah, I struggled to pick someone, but I picked Einar too. That's who I've got written down. For the reasons you said, Chris, anyone different?
Yes, one day.
All right. You said this to me half time, and I did see things online. People with the same opinion as you. So I thought it must be me, but I thought he was fine. But maybe I don't think so.
Lost the ball.
Yeah, he didn't
stand out way too much. Sorry,
he didn't stand out. I think maybe that's probably the criticism.
No, but he also gave the ball away a few times. He didn't look very, very reliable in the first half.
Fair enough. Biznaga then, again, equally quite difficult, I thought, this, because there's sort of quite a few sort of good candidates. With I don't know, maybe there is an outstanding candidate. Let's find out. Luke, who did you pick for Biznaga?
Yeah, I went for Victor Garcia. I think he had a much better game, looking a lot more like himself, and he grabbed an assist with that David Beckham white cross.
Yeah. Nick, anyone different?
I think honourable mentions for Danny Lorenzo, like we said. I thought Dione really put himself about as well in this game and obviously got the goal. It would have been Manu Molina if he'd have stayed on the pitch. I'm absolutely sure of that, but because he was hooked at half time, I can't give it to him. But the one that really stood out for me was Victor Garcia. Got to agree with everything Luke said. He had a very, very productive afternoon on Saturday.
I've literally got the same names you've just said, except I sort of thought Roberto did a Roberto job as well, but he's always going to get a mention because you can't sort of fault his effort. But yeah, I was going to go Victor Garcia as well. I felt like, I think I said 2 weeks ago, I felt really sorry for him out in Thuta because he was running his arse off and not getting anything. Also, of course, honourable mention to Kevin's fashion performance at the end. With his,
it looked horrible.
Justin Timberlake, circa 2003.
I don't know.
It was.
I don't know what it was.
I think Keith liked it.
I very much like Christian. I very much like Christian Bukowski's comment, which was, "Looks very nice. Something that young Matt would buy."
Yes, I like that comment. I like being young Matt too.
I don't know. He only missed a red nose and some painting on his face to be a clown.
Again, you've got to give it to Kevin. He is one of football's great celebrators without even playing. I sort of respect his ability to just turn up for the.
He's good in partying.
He could John Terry the shit out of Malaga's promotion.
Can we say he's good in partying?
Yes, you can say that. And we'll leave it there. Who's your Biznaga, Chris?
I think it's quite not nice to not give it to someone just because his mom died. So I'm giving it to Manu Molina.
Yeah, and I think, like Nick said, I remember
he would have given it if his mom didn't die. That's basically what Nick said.
You know,
I don't think Nick did say that, but yeah. I to be honest with you, I literally remember thinking at halftime, like, "Oh, he's gonna be taking my Biznaga this week." And
yeah, but you're not giving it because he didn't play the whole match. I understand it.
It was just some of his passing this game, and you know, it's what we've been saying for a while now. He seemed to can find a pass.
Yeah. Anyway, do you think he's settled in now? Do you think that's what maybe the early form might have been? Because you are seeing a better Manu Molina now.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking it's a half year too late. So
yeah. This is it. So many of the players that we bought in the summer had not played football for 12 to 18 months consistently, and you know that's why we're probably feeling the pain of them and only get up to speed now.
And then the ones that have played football, are like Sangali and Juanpe, are the ones that are always injured. So it's you know, I've got no issue with Manu Molina coming good now. I think this sort of, to be honest with you, I had my doubts he would come good. So
I think he was the best on the pitch in the first half.
Oh, easily. I think he was.
And I think you can't judge him on the second half, and you can't even. The reason why I think he should deserve Biznaga from every one of us.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't decide. So
Okay. Well, there you go. There's our Biznagas handed out. We're going back home this week, so we've gone from that big away support back to La Rosaleda to take on Atletico Baleares. So yeah, we're back at La Rosaleda this Sunday, and I was going to say Sunday afternoon, but it is barely Sunday afternoon because we kick off at midday. I suppose we should start by asking. I'll ask you first, Chris, because obviously you are a season ticket holder. What do you make of these midday kickoffs?
rubbish.
Yeah, me too.
Rubbish. I'm not going to lie. I'm not really looking forward to it. I think the time is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
And it's we only have 2 matches, I believe, which are like normal time, and the rest is this nonsense.
Yeah, I
It's
think
crap.
it's 9 games left.
Yeah,
Home
7 are
7, and I think 5 of them are at midday. Sorry, yeah, that's the right. Obviously, 2 of them sort of, it's quite nice because I think Unicaja play in the evening, so that's quite a nice little touch. But I don't really know why the other 3 are this early. It was quite fun because obviously we've had one already, which was midday on a Thursday on a bank holiday, and it was quite sort of novel. And it was quite nice to have the afternoon to do stuff. But yeah,
it's definitely a difference of like you guys living in Spain to us traveling overseas, etc. I mean, I'm there Friday to Monday, so it didn't really matter. I haven't been to a 12 o'clock kickoff in Spain, so maybe if I get asked the question next week, it could be a different answer. But like for Nick, it's fell perfect in terms of the flying in and out, etc.
Well,
ideal. Well, it was like when you look at the Castellón game, and the good thing, obviously, about this league as well is that you get told well in advance what the kickoff time is going to be. So I would happily stay in this league just for that purpose, if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
But it was like the other week when we didn't have that information, and I booked flights to come to the game and watch against Castellón, and then it was like 8 o'clock on a thing. The fact with my job, I can only come out on Saturday morning and go home on Sunday night. I'd love to be able to do a Friday till Monday. It's just not on the cards, unfortunately. So this, even though I'd probably prefer a 8 o'clock or a 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, so then you've got the Sunday to yourself. It's just the other way around for me. So I don't mind it. I can live with it.
Well,
I wouldn't mind
your
Saturday
perfect
night.
one, Matt?
Pardon?
What is your perfect one? I mean, I love a 5 or a 6. Sometimes I think the 8 o'clock after 3,000 bottles of beer can really drag the day out. But what's your perfect kickoff?
Yeah, I do like a 6. But just going to like what Nick said, I suppose it's the other way for me as well. Because like, for example, when we played Ceuta the other day, a midday, that was perfect for me because it meant I had enough time to get home because I have to be in work Monday. So I do get that side of things as well. Yeah, I do like a 6, to be honest. 6 or 7. I do like the day.
Saturday for the session, Sunday for
I think it will affect a lot the pre-drinking and the way people enter into the stadium on Sunday.
Chris, will that be anything to do with the carnival at all?
No.
There's some event on Sunday. What they were trying to big up as a big event in Malaga for the carnival.
Well, carnival.
It's the parade, isn't it? But they did a parade down to the marina.
There's something Saturday night as well, Nick, which you and the guys can get involved in, I imagine.
Well, we're too busy doing our football quiz, so we won't be partaking in any carnival.
You're just staying in the hotel room doing football quizzes.
I know Carnival's like really big in Cadiz, but I was in Gran Canaria for Carnival a couple of years ago, and that was pretty mad. But yeah,
I think the league is not changing the date for Carnival.
No, I don't think.
Imagine if they did.
If you remember at the beginning of the season, didn't Malaga ask for as many midday kickoffs as they could?
Midday.
Because they are afraid of other things.
Saving
Not
electricity
because
and the lights. Knowing
they were not afraid of Malaga people missing out on Carnival.
When you say other things, then, like they're scared of the dark, or they're scared they're scared of the electric bill.
You guys see it every week at La Rosaleda, but like last week before the Castellon game, the atmosphere with the ultras and Stefan de Sur, etc. It's just unbelievable. It's something every fan's got to see. Whereas a 12 o'clock kickoff, I imagine.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to stand there at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
That's a shame, actually. Yeah, because we're going to miss out on those sort of big sort of shows of support. I hadn't really thought of that angle. Yeah, that's not good. And the final.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to sit in that stadium in 18 to 20 degrees in my shorts.
You know what's perfect on a Sunday? If you had kids who play football and then go with them on a football day and watch them play at 12 o'clock their match. That's perfect. The perfect time. But for professional football, not for me.
No, I'm not a fan either. But anyway, we are playing Atletico Baleares. Does anybody want to throw some stuff out about them? I've got some
shit.
There you go. Analysis done.
Hey, they gave us problems at their place. They're only 2-1. But overall, it'll probably sound like a broken record. As Nick just said, they aren't very good. So they haven't actually scored a goal for 460 minutes of football.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's no wins in 6, and they're currently 17th in the league. The interesting thing is they've conceded 21 goals in 10 games on the road this season. So they are quite open. However, more importantly to us as Malaga fans, and quite embarrassingly, Malaga have only scored 11 league goals at La Rosaleda this season.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I don't know if you saw. I don't think I've written the number down, but David Picon, I think I saw tweet out that we're like the top goal scorers away from home. I'm not sure if I'm...
So if you put our 11 home goals into comparison with Castellon, who we're chasing, Castellon have scored 34 home goals and we've scored 11.
Is it a chase?
Wow.
Or is it stalking from a distance?
Yeah,
but you know, I don't want to fall into this trap again, because I did this ahead of the Alcoyano game last time, and I was bigging it up saying we've been unbeaten since August, and you know this team are really, really poor, and then they came and turned us over. So I'm not going to get too cocky, but when a team haven't won since the 3rd of December, haven't scored, like Luke said, in over 400 minutes, got smashed 5-0 by Castilla. You know, their only recent have come against teams around them and a team that we beat last weekend. So,
but Nick, does this not stink of Alcoyano?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Everyone at work, we hadn't lost a game in 15 and etc. etc.
Yeah, that was the main thing I took when I was looking at them, is that they've won 4 games, and I think Nick sort of touched on it then. Those 4 games, 3 of them have come against Granada B, Merida, and Melilla, which obviously are down there with them. And the other win was against Alcoyano. I
think, Matt, with three of them like in a row or something, they hit a decent.
Yeah, they have like a sort of good November, so they haven't really won since then. They've only scored 12 goals, and I noticed that half of those goals have come from their old striker David Rodriguez, as I think we talked about when we played them away. Formerly of Brighton, many not that long ago, maybe 10 years ago. I can't remember.
Do you want to know an interesting fact?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Don't want to share my interesting fact.
Of course I do.
Well, you know that we're complaining about the kickoff times of being 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Every Atletico Baleares game until the end of the season is at 12 o'clock kickoff.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's probably because they want that.
Yeah.
Was it Atletico Baleares who brought an absolute beast on up front with like 10 minutes left, like 7'15" or something?
Oh, yeah. Shrek.
And also,
nickname for him.
This was the ground, Chris, where you was checking the traffic or the local.
I always do that, so that's nothing new.
Yeah. So, and I know, again, I think we've got to mention they do have a Giri in their ranks as well in Shashua. I feel like a Sean Connery accent. Shashua.
The Tenerife guy's brother, isn't it?
Yeah, the Tenerife guy's the guy that played. He started at Tottenham, didn't he? So
Yeah.
I think it's Armando Shashua.
I don't think these are going to be coming out at us on Sunday. Basically, I can't see him being an attacking threat.
Look, the fact that you are coming and your stats for this season is enough to worry about.
You know who you're sounding like now?
Yes.
Richard Ashmore.
Yes. So you should ask yourself. You shouldn't doubt me. You should doubt yourself. If
Laura's record watching Malaga is worse than mine, and she's coming through the weekend.
Yeah. So,
to be honest, if we're going to pick on anyone, I think anyone has got the worst record here. It's probably me, isn't it? Because since I've been here, it's all sort of just fallen apart. So I'm not going to get involved.
Yeah, your win percentage isn't great, really, Matt.
My win percentage is atrocious.
Mine is still fine.
Yeah, well, mine is not good. Even seeing the wins this year was very odd for me. Like that was like a treat for the other years. That's probably why I'm a bit defensive of this team, because they've given me more joy than other teams.
A bit of fun, yeah,
a bit of fun, as I keep saying, yeah. But yes, I guess the headline there is we should be beating these, but it's Malaga.
I'm probably more interested in starting a pool with you guys, and maybe we need to make like a bingo card or a raffle. What is Luke going to buy next from the club shop? Because if it's not a hat or a hoodie or a jacket or a shirt
or a pen
teddy, or a pen, what else could we put on Luke's shop?
To be honest, Nick, you would say that, but before Castillo and I went into the club shop with Carl, that was an experience, because Carl wanted the hoodie what I bought, but then so we're looking at a different area. They didn't have his size. There's all these really weird training tops I'd never even seen before. I didn't even know what.
I'll just check, Luke. You said you went to the club shop with Carl. It wasn't Granada's club shop, was it? And that's why everything was a bit weird. Led you to the wrong one.
Every shirt, I've got that one. I've got that one. I've got that one. I've got that one.
Were they playing the Pecci Mode inside or not?
No, that's gone. That's gone now.
It's never gone.
I got sent so many videos this week because I think Paul went. Did Paul go to watch him this week or something?
No, Carl did. Carl went to watch Pecci Mode. Or the Pecci Mode to the more initiated,
and Juan Aleo put loads of videos up, and I just couldn't get away from the Pecci Mode or the Pecci Mode.
I'm going to take a punt and say that Luke is going to buy. We're coming into summertime now.
Well, I can tell you last time, the time before, he switched now to buying things for his dog. So maybe go down that route.
That's the one.
No, see, if I know Luke, we're going to start hitting warmer weather soon. I reckon he's going to buy a pair of Malaga training shorts. That's what I reckon he's going to get.
Hey, that is a shout. That is a great shout.
I don't like the training shorts, like the long ones. How do you call them? In English,
3/4.
No, the long ones, just the normal long
pants.
It's like the grey color ones. What do look good?
Yeah, they're ugly.
With top, they look cool.
No, but the trousers. I mean the pants.
He'll pull anything off, will Luke, especially if they're really small and really tight. His socks are pulled up to his knees. He'll be great.
I'm still surprised with those tight and small. I like that, but when you have like big package, my wife always complains that she says you can't go out the door like that. You see everything.
Not talk about Luke, are we?
you see everything, and then I say, okay, I'll go change myself again.
Speaking of big packages, Malaga have got a big package of games in February, haven't we, Matt?
Love that.
Yeah,
Love that.
Yeah. To be honest with you, when I made it, for some reason in my head, I got some of the fixtures a bit mixed up. I thought we had quite an easy February, and it's not as as easy as I thought. So we've obviously got these guys this weekend, then Melilla away, who are also down there. But then we've got Recreativo at home, which of course they're around the playoffs. And, the guys that beat us before Alcoyano, we go away there in February. I'm going to try and go to that one, actually. That's the start of my half term. So that should be
I'm
fun.
hoping, I'm setting my money on going to Cordoba, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's a couple of weeks after, isn't it? So a big month ahead. Is there, I don't know, let's stick with this game for a moment. Is there any one you really want to see in this game? I guess,
Musa.
I was about to say, I'm guessing Chris is about to say Musa, and he's even said it before I've asked the question.
Musa.
Me too. I'd like to see Musa. I don't know
Manu
what.
Molina.
Manu Molina back in.
I think it's important for Manu Molina to come back as soon as possible. But just for him to focus, of course, if he's not up for it, but maybe it will do him some good.
Yeah, it depends. We'll react different.
I'd like to see Eric Exposito sign from Poland and play
I was going to say I don't know if it's going to happen or anything, but I suppose the next 24 hours will make it clear. But I'd like to see that new centre forward on the bench, which could be Exposito, like you say, Nick.
I don't think if any player is going to be signed, he will play on Sunday.
No, he can be there or presenting on the pitch at half time.
Beautiful. With Super Bokeh. T-shirt cannon, Super Bokeh.
I'd love it. Just he's being, whoever the new striker is presented on the pitch at like half time, and I can just see Kevin in the photo as well. Like, player.
I prefer
if it's that Zlatanovic guy, and they present him on the middle, I hope they hit him with the T-shirt cannon.
I think they need to do it like Mass Singer style, where they remove Super Bokeh's head.
Yeah.
Underneath, it's
Sneakers underneath Super Bokeh.
Guy Quintana, no.
Of course, it'll take his mask off and it'll just be Kevin. He's like, "It's me again."
It's Matt. Have you seen how crazy the stadium goes with those cannons?
Yeah. I love it, me.
Why?
Because it's just free Malaga stuff.
No, it's not Malaga stuff. It's just a T-shirt made by a hamburger place.
It's just shit, but it's Malaga shit.
I want one.
Yeah,
I do. I just want to.
Flashbacks to Maud Flanders being hit with a T-shirt cannon falling off the back of La Rosaleda.
Castellon, whilst Matt and everyone else went for the piss break at half time, me and Maggie had a lovely conversation about the T-shirt cannon for a good 10 minutes.
So T-shirt cannons. I wish I'd stayed for that as well. Anything we want to add about this game, guys? Because I think I'm all out.
Personally, I just want to see an attacking Malaga. Let's try and get some goals. Let's try and do what we spoke about last week. Maybe let's get 3 or 4 goals, but mainly get 3 points.
There you go.
Maybe the 3-5-2 will work this week. You don't know.
I hope so too.
Maybe.
There you go. Again, like it's quite nice. All 4 of us will be there. It's nice to have all 4 of us there. So I'm looking forward to the potential of Nick's football quiz on Saturday night if I do make it to Malaga.
More the merrier, as always. But yeah, it's gonna be nice to step off that plane on Saturday morning. Hopefully, a bit of sunshine in the face. Tapas, cerveza, Malaga football. It's gonna be.
I don't want to let you down too much, Nick, and I really hope for you get some sun. But it has been like very, very horrible the last few days.
The weather's looking good. There
will be sun. Do not
nice.
take this away from me. There will be sun because it's pissing down with rain right here now.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't rain here.
And
that's the biggest difference for you.
This is my January/February seasonal depression cure. NHS mandated needs to be sunny, so don't let me down. And I'll hold you personally responsible, Chris.
Why me?
Because you've moved to Spain and then all of a sudden it starts to rain and be cloudy.
Well, to be honest, it has never been so warm.
I was going to say, we say not recently. I suppose we should also mention as well, Chris, is that if people are still watching on YouTube, we've got the QR code in the top corner for.
Yeah, we're posting something tomorrow again. So important. Maybe we should have done this at the start of the. We are raising money for little Robin, so who has a very special cancer. Special things are not always good. This is a horrible thing. They are getting a treatment which costs 500,000 pounds or euros. I'm not really sure. So they need a lot of money. So if you can miss something, please donate. Everything is welcome.
There you go. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, definitely go do that. And it cannot be easier with the QR code link in the corner. So yeah, let's wrap up this week's podcast. So I shall say thank you, Luke.
Thank you very much, mate. Look forward to seeing you and everyone else Saturday and Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, we just want to see you on other days except Sunday.
I really don't want to see Chris Marquez in tight pants, as he said. But yeah, all in all, we're going to have a great weekend. We're going to get 3 points and we're going to party people. So vamos, Malaga.
Vamos, Malaga. And look forward to seeing you as well, Nick Bell.
Gracias, amigo. I'm looking forward to seeing Luke James being pulled out of Barry Benser by his wife at 2:00 in the morning. Also looking forward to seeing you all there too. So, yes, vamos, Malaga. 3 puntos incoming. Por favor.
Great stuff. And as always, thank you, Chris. And we'll see you on the weekend too.
Yes, it will be insane. And let's make another video, I guess.
And we can all go and have an early lunch after the game, maybe. Just we'll be done
maybe.
Let's go for a nice cafe con leche.
Wigan bar.
Wigan bar.
Yes. So and also as always, thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
Keep following us and retweeting stuff.
Subscribe, that's important. Subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Subscribe. Maybe go give us some what do you call it? Ratings on whatever you listen podcasts to. I hear lots of podcasts say that stuff helps, and we don't say that very often. Give us 5 stars.
Can you give us rating somewhere?
Yeah, give us 5.
Yeah.
Follow
Spotify.
Yeah.
How many 5 stars do we have?
At least 1. Oh, as well.
Can you see how many negative ones we get?
Obviously, us guys know. I'm sure the listeners and viewers would know by now, but there obviously won't be no live stream on Sunday. Wheels guys being at the stadium and Alex fanboying Real Madrid somewhere. The fishing team, the bowling team, anything. He'll be doing something Real Madrid.
Yeah. Real Madrid the FC.
No, the fishing team are called Real Madrid.
That's important.
Top corner. Let's finish with that.
We have we have an amazing new thing Alex is doing, where he's writing nice articles about Malaga. He has written 2, and they're really lovely to read, not to listen, but to read. You can find it on our Linktree already. No,
I think so.
I don't know.
They're on our social.
It's definitely on Twitter. Definitely on Twitter.
You are the one doing that.
Yeah. Matt, say the joke again.
Yeah.
Some people would say you could call Real Madrid's fishing team Real Madrid.
Hey!
You've been listening to the Guiricast on Sport Direct Radio and as a part of the Sports Social Podcast Network. I've been Matt Harrison, ending with a great pun at the end. Thank you for listening. Adios and vamos, Malaga.